Hello and welcome to another video from betfairtradingcommunity.com. Now, if you've been with us a while or if you've heard me talk before, you might have heard me say this phrase because I say it a lot. Treat this like a business and it will start to pay you like one, okay? I'll say this again. Treat Betfair trading like a business and it will start to pay you as one. Because I believe fundamentally that when you set the right foundation for your Betfair trading, it actually gives you the best chance to succeed. And the reason I believe that to my core is that I've seen it in process happen time and time again whilst training traders over the past 10 years on betfairtradingcommunity.com. So you're probably wondering, like, what are these 5 things that can really make me start to treat this like a business, start to treat this properly and start to get in the mindset of a professional trader? Because the thing is, we want to start to be like what we want to become, right? Just because you might be watching this and going, I'm not even a profitable trader yet, let alone anywhere near the professional level, doesn't mean you can't start using some of those characteristics. Doesn't mean you can't start creating a culture and an environment where you can flourish in and become a professional trader. So let's go through the 5 things today that sprung to my mind when I thought of this topic. Number 1, right, so if you're starting a business, what's the first thing you're going to do? What's the first thing they're going to ask you for? We see it on The Apprentice. If you watch The Apprentice, what does Alan Sugar get his specialists to look at? A business plan, right? Now, when you're a Betfair trader, obviously you're not creating a business in terms of, a brick and mortar store or anything like that. But you are creating a business in terms of you are creating the business of yourself as a Betfair trader. So my business would be Martin Betfair Trader, right? Now, you create a plan for that. What's your plan? What's your goal? What's your aims? What's your outcomes? How are you going to achieve those outcomes? It's really important to think about this stuff and write it down. And, go look at a basic business plan and look at some of the things on there and go, what can I actually translate and put into a Betfair trading plan for myself? And that's what you're doing. You're creating a Betfair trading plan, okay? So maybe if removing the word business helps you kind of think about that, really what you're doing is you're creating a plan for your trading. And you might think, wow, that seems really obvious. Well, the thing is, how many people actually do that? How many of you, before you started trading on Betfair, went, right, I'm just going to write out my plan. I'm just going to spend a couple of hours and I'm going to really go through it, think about the outcomes I want, think about how I'm going to achieve them. Because I don't think people do it. And what people do is they come at Betfair trading and they go, right, my goal is to be a pro trader. I'm going to make, thousands of pounds. Let's go. And it's just that. And that doesn't really give you a solid foundation. It's like when you build your house on the sand, right? If you build your house on sand, eventually it's going to sink. And I think that when you don't create a plan, your whole thing is eventually going to sink because there's no foundation there at all. So the first thing Betfair traders should be doing is creating their plan, creating a Betfair trading business plan for themselves. Because ultimately, if you become successful at Betfair trading, if you make a profit, if you become a professional trader, then you have created wealth. You have created a business. You are your own company, right? So it's good to think about it in this way. Okay, the second thing, very simple one. What's the environment you trade in? Okay, what's the environment you trade in? I'm going to give some suggestions here. And what I mean by environment is just the place you're trading in, the actual physical place, the space, okay? Now, if you've got an office at home or whatever, that's ideal. Right, okay, you've already knocked that one out of the park pretty much, so you don't need to worry too much. If you're doing it, this is what always concerns me, if you're doing it out of your own bedroom, I don't love that, right? And the reason I don't love that is that you're kind of blurring the boundary between, what's kind of the area where you rest and the area where you work. And I don't think it works. I actually think you'd be better off if you've got other bedrooms doing it in someone else's bedroom, right? Especially if you're living with a family or whatever. Just having a different room to do it in, I think, is really good. And obviously, you might be at a stage where you're like, well, all I've got is this, the kitchen or the living room. Okay, well, if you live by your own, I don't think doing the living room is particularly a bad thing, or the kitchen. Find an area just to put your PC and work that stuff out. I really don't think that's a bad idea. But if you're living with people, it might be difficult, and you might be forced to use your own room. But I really would see that as a last resort. The other thing you want to think about is peace and quiet. Right? So, if you've got family around, then you want to be in a separate room from them, really. Unless they are just going to sit there and be quiet and just talk to you every now and then, it's very difficult, and they'll know it. They're not going to enjoy the fact that you're sitting there on a screen, not responding to them. I mean, come on, let's look at it in other areas of life. How annoying is it when you're spending time with someone and all they're doing is looking at their phone? Or, I've had people over, like for dinner and stuff, and, they'll just literally look at their phone the whole night. And I'll be like, is this how people live now? But apparently it is, right? You don't want to be that person. So one thing I think is good is to try and get in a separate space, separate room if you can. I know it's not always possible, and when it's not, that's not ideal, but you might just have to do that for a while. Hopefully you get successful enough at Betfair trading that you can move into that better environment. Okay, number 3, technical setup. Okay, so one of the things you're going to have to consider if you want to be a successful Betfair trader is, what do I actually need? What tools do I need? Okay, what do I physically need? What do I need to use for the training? Okay, so let's start off with the physical things. The first thing I recommend is just getting a PC. Right? I mean, they're not expensive. Like, you can get good PCs that work well for trading, probably for about £350, £400. Like a decently solid PC. There's a company called Vibox on Amazon that I think I got one from, and that was really good. And they just kind of set that up all up for you. RAM wise, you probably want around 8 gig at least, right? So keep that in mind there. And yeah, I don't think you need to go crazy. I don't think you need to spend a ridiculous amount. But remember, I know it might seem expensive, like £300-400, that's quite a lot of money, right? But a lot of you will already have a device you can trade on effectively, and that's good. You might already have a decent laptop or a decent desktop. I much prefer to use a desktop personally, but my dad, for instance, he's a successful trader and he uses a laptop. So it's very, you can do either. But what I would say is, if you haven't got that set up, just go and get that sorted, or make that one of your first priorities, because it's much easier to trade using that kind of setup. I really don't like the idea of trading on a mobile phone. I know a lot of you guys do it. I think I ran a poll and about 50% of you do. Okay, that's up to you. But if we're talking about really treating it like a business, like when you're doing important business things, how often are you going to be doing that on your mobile phone? Because, I help run Betfair Trading Community. I don't do anything on Betfair Trading Community on my phone. I do it all on my PC. And also it helps keep it separate. Again, talking to this social aspect, if you've got a partner, if you've got a family or whatever, you've got friends who you just want to hang out with, isn't it better that you're actually going, right, okay, I'm off my computer, so I'm fully focused on the task at hand, rather than going, oh, I've got my phone, hang on, I could just quickly check Betfair and X, Y, and Z. And I think people who do that often end up placing silly bets or, fun bets, and I'm not a big fan of those, as you'll probably know. I really don't like the idea of that, because I always want to be trying to win. I always want to be trying to push my edge when I'm betting on Betfair or trading on Betfair. I don't want to be the person who's going, yeah, I'm just going to bet on this because I'm watching the match. No, bet on it because there's an opportunity in front of you, not because it's just there and there's nothing else to do. Okay, but that kind of technical setup in terms of just having the PC. Now, the other recommend, laptop or PC, get a second screen. Okay, now you will see videos of people, and I always feel like people who do this are just a bit trying to show off. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's an ego thing. That's totally unnecessary. You do not need more than 2 screens. Anyone who tells you that is talking nonsense. I've still not seen many justifications for having more than 2 screens, even when someone's tried to explain it to me. I could maybe accept 3. Right? 3 screens as the maximum. There's no way you would ever need any more than that. And you could even do what Adam does, where he's just got one really wide screen. And I mean, he could fit about 2 or 3 normal screens on that. So again, I'd choose 2 screens. There's not really any situation where I'm going, oh, I really wish I had that 3rd screen. I mean, if you want to watch a game or something, you can do that on your phone now. That's easy enough, isn't it? I mean, I watch a lot of my stuff on the phone if I'm trading. So maybe that's your 3rd screen. But you don't need 3 computer screens. I don't buy into that. You definitely don't need more than that. But you do need 2. 2 is essential because you want to be able to go, right, okay, I'll have Betfair open on one screen and then I'll have my research open on the other. And sure, you could have both windows open on one screen, but it does get a bit clogged up, and it's just harder. It's just harder. And the thing is, again, this is about setting up the right environment. You want to set up an environment that works really well for you. So you don't want to be going, oh, I'm just trying to read this little bit of writing, but I can't quite read it because my screen's so narrow and, all the stuff's been bunched up so much. So technical setup works, and it's massively important. The next thing is software. You want to start considering software to use. Now, no matter what job you do, no matter what kind of work you do, anything advanced, you're going to be using some kind of software. You might not even think about it, but we're all using software, right? One of the obvious ones to use, and I'll get into this a bit more, is you're going to want some kind of spreadsheet system. You're going to want to be using spreadsheets when you're running your business of Betfair trading. So that's something you want to consider. I use LibreOffice. It's absolutely free. Well, it was last time I checked. To be fair, I downloaded it quite a long time ago now, and I just update it through their updates. But that's a good option if you don't use Excel. But Google Drive's really good now. I do a lot with Google Drive as well. I kind of combine the two, and Google Drive is solid, and again, it's completely free. So they're really good options in terms of that. And then you're going to want some training software. You're going to want to train as a Betfair trader. Again, any career that's worth doing, you want to train at it. Don't feel like, and again, this is about treating it professionally, right? If I wanted to start a career tomorrow in, let's say, data analysis, because I love data analysis, and that would probably be my backup if I ever got bad at Betfair trading, I would just go, okay, I'll go do data analysis. Well, the thing is, I would then go and train in it. I would not think, do you know what, I'll just go and get a job straight away and learn on the job. No, that's not really how it works. You have to get some form of qualification. And Betfair trading, to be honest, is no different. There's not a formal qualification, but it's really important to go and do some training. Do a training course. Do Ryan's Super Trader course on BetfairTradingCommunity.com, because we've actually set up a pathway for traders to go step by step into becoming a super trader, into becoming a very good trader. So, and again, that stuff isn't random. It's all come from knowledge that we've gained from training people over the past decade. And this has only been released quite recently. And I really, really wish this kind of thing existed when I was trying to learn to trade, because I could have sure done with it. I could have done with that training. It's so, and I cannot explain to you, right? However much you might think, oh, I don't know. I cannot explain to you how difficult Betfair trading is if you just try and go and do it. And you don't get any training, you don't get any support, you don't get anyone alongside you, you don't get anyone mentoring you. I mean, you've got all these options available to you for a few quid a month at BetfairTradingCommunity.com. I just don't understand why you wouldn't take that option. And the thing is that it will take you longer and it will cost you more money not to do it. That's kind of a proven thing. I think there's something like it takes about 800 hours, 1,700 quid in general, even for the profitable people, if they're just trying to do it from scratch. And is that the kind of money you have? Is that the kind of time you have that you want to waste when you could just go and do super trader training straight away? So that's kind of something I would strongly recommend. Like with any job, go and get qualified in it. Go and learn it properly. Don't just try and go, well, I don't need any tea. I mean, imagine if I wanted to be a doctor and I just went, I'm not going to bother, doing any training or anything like that. Right, take me to the surgery. I'm going to operate. I can have a go. I've watched enough episodes of House, right? That's kind of the same thing. I mean, you probably laugh at that thinking that's a ridiculous comparison, but that is exactly the same thing. If you try and just throw yourself into Betfair trading with no training or anything like that, the chances are you're going to fail, right? And strongly fail. Whereas the chances are if you do the training, you will succeed, as we've seen with BetfairTradingCommunity.com in the past decade. Now, let's get on to the fourth thing, which is bookkeeping. Because I've talked about this a bit, so I won't labour this. You should be recording some stuff, okay? Firstly, you should be recording profit and loss. Now, you can do this automatically in Betfair, so it's not massively important that you have to do this yourself, but it can be nice to kind of look at it and compare month to month and stuff like that. But the other thing you should be looking at is testing your strategies, testing your systems, testing your trading, seeing what your results are, and actually putting that into a sheet and going, okay, here's my results from today, here's what happened. What could I improve on? What could I work in? Because this comes on to my fifth point and final point, which is you should be doing a quarterly review of your Betfair trading. Now, again, you know I like to talk about stuff that I never hear people talk about. I've never ever heard anyone talk about anything like this before in terms of Betfair trading, and yet it can be so crucial to actually improving as a trader. You should be looking at yourself and going, okay, what happened in the last 3 months? Because you could do it in a week, you could do it in a month, but I don't think that's long enough. I think when you get a quarter, it's a very good time to look at something and go, okay, 3 months is quite a long period. How have I traded? What mistakes have I made? What could I brush up on? What could I improve on? What areas could I get more self-development on? What could I ask Ryan and Martin and Adam about on BetfairTradingCommunity.com if I need help with? Because again, that's something crucial, right? You guys should be doing that. In your quarterly review, go, okay, this is what I've concluded. Now I'm going to go ask for some help. Okay, and that's what it's there for. That's what the forum's there for. That's what BetfairTradingCommunity.com is there for, to help you become a better trader. And that is literally it. But your quarterly review will be a case of you analysing what's actually happened. And we quite often get people come to us and go, oh, I'm stuck on this, Martin, or I'm not sure how to evaluate this. And I can have a look at it for you and I go, okay, in my opinion, this is what's happened to you in the last 3 months. This is what you could improve on. This is how you can improve your trading. And you can do it with specific trades. If there's specific trades you remember from the last quarter, go, Martin, I had this trade. I'm still not sure about it. I'm not sure whether it's the right thing to do. Was there anything I could have improved on? Was it just bad luck? Was it just variance? And then again, I can help you assess that. But you can do a lot of this yourself, and that's the good thing, right? The quarterly review could just be you looking at yourself as a trader and going, okay, what do I need to sort out? Because that's essentially what the quarterly review is. And then you look at it and go, okay, what can I do for the next quarter? What are my goals for the next 3 months? You know, and I'm not talking pie in the sky stuff that you just go, well, yeah, okay, in the next 3 months I want to be a pro trader. But go, okay, in the next 3 months I just want to make a profit. Or the next 3 months I just want to have one strategy that I've created that's successful, that's profitable, that's good, okay? Things like that, kind of bite-sized little steps along the journey. That's what a quarterly review is brilliant for. And again, all decent businesses do this. All decent businesses do all 5 of these things. They create a plan for the business and they continue doing that, and they review that quarterly, okay, which comes to our 5th point. They have a great environment to work in. You know, there's a reason people are pulling people away from the home office now and taking them back into work, because they want the right environment for someone to be productive in, and they want to know that someone's there being, well, when you're a Betfair trader, you don't have anyone doing that for you. You need to do that yourself. So create that environment around you. Get rid of the distractions. Don't go down that YouTube rabbit hole. You know, and watch videos that have nothing to do with Betfair trading when you're supposed to be doing Betfair trading. Number 3, get the right technical setup, right? And don't just think about that in terms of, well, I need a decent PC and I need a couple of screens. Think about it in terms of what training you're getting. What, you know, who's going to help you out with your trading? I recommend BetfairTradingCommunity.com, obviously. You know, there are other ones out there if you really don't want to do that, but it would be madness given the 10-year record we have. But the point is, do it. Get some training somewhere, because if you're not, you know, you really are just like a little fish in the ocean of Betfair, and you will drown, unfortunately, although fish don't really drown, do they? So it wasn't a great analogy, but you get my point, right? So number 4, bookkeeping. You should be recording strategy results. You should be testing things. You should constantly be testing things. You know, every couple of days you should be updating your results, because the reality is that when you do that, it's much more powerful, because you might have a strategy, you don't know if it works. Well, test it. Find out before you start putting money on. That's really important. And then the last point of all, quarterly review, kind of covered that a bit in the creating a plan. But that's basically, in your quarterly review, you should go look at your plan. Go back and look at your original plan and go, okay, how have I come along? Is there anything I need to change here? Is there any goals I need to update? Have I been realistic? Have I been unrealistic? Do I need to set some more realistic goals? Guys, honestly, if you start treating Betfair trading like a business, you're much, much, much more likely to have success as a Betfair trader. And take that from someone who has seen it happen with thousands of people over the past 10 years. Alright guys, hope this video has helped you, hope you've enjoyed it. If you've watched to the end, please say the word business and we'll get going. Come on, let's make some money. Let's make some money from this business, right? Let's create our own income. Let's create our own wealth. If you haven't checked out BetfairTradingCommunity.com, at least go and check it out. Even if you're like, oh, one of those people like, oh, I can't even fathom spending any money on getting some training to help me in my career. Okay, great, but at least have a look going up, because there's free stuff. This is free. Podcast is free. The newsletter is free. Again, I'll leave a link to the newsletter. You can sign up to that in the description. Again, Ryan actually sends out a little bit of training each week for that, and it's absolutely fantastic. Brilliant. I like reading it. It helps me. I improve when I read it because I know that his journey's been amazing as a Betfair trader as well. All right, guys, have a great week. But most importantly of all, I hope you make some money trading on Betfair.